This video was sponsored by Bananas. Just kidding! It was sponsored by Raycon. I tricked you! Alec-bananas! That's because the Raycon Everyday E25 wireless earbuds have changed the way I listen to music. The sound quality is great, they're super easy to hook up to Bluetooth, and they're so low profile and comfortable that I can have them in pretty much forever. They can last up to 6 hours on a charge, and this convenient, snappy little case here can charge them, giving you up to 24 hours of listening. Need I remind you that the Raycon Everyday E25s are about half the price of other premium wireless earbuds? And just because I love you can get 15% off at buyraycon.com/Arlo or click the link down in the description. Now, on with the show. Ah! Kinda bumpy. Well, I am doing it. I am playing Origami King. And it's fun. I'm having fun so far. No, it's a good time. So far, I'm enjoying myself. But let's talk about it. Let's just jump right on into it. Naturally, going into the game, the #1 largest potential issue is the combat. That's what we've, a lot of us have been very worried about. If there is no incentive to battle, then what is the point of battling? That was the problem with Sticker Star and Color Splash. Battles just kind of get in the way, especially in Color Splash because they're a little convoluted. It just takes a lot of inputs in order to do a very simple attack and defeat a very simple enemy, making it such a chore that you just don't want to do it. You don't want to engage with the game the way that it was supposed to be engaged with. And I'm happy to say that so far, I have not felt too annoyed by the battles. Sometimes, there's a couple times where I'm a little annoyed that there's just another guy and he's chasing me. I have ran from a fair number of battles. But one of the things that's made it better so far is that so many of these battles are scripted. Sorry, my voice sounds a little funny. It's a little low, a little gravelly. I'm just kind of getting sick, sorry. But yeah, you're walking by and a bad guy will jump out of the bushes, or you're trying to save a guy and then they kind of ambush you. And these battles, yeah, they're supposed to happen. You can't even run from them. And these are fine. I feel so much more willing to battle when it's I have to, because Mario got jumped by a bunch of Goombas. So you have to, you know what I mean? When it's not optional, I don't feel that urge, that option hanging over me to just run, to just not engage at all. And there are a ton of them. It almost feels like the majority of battles so far have been scripted. And so, yeah, it's been a lot more fun to do. I'm getting used to the ring system. I also, I don't know, you get coins after battle. That's the main reason to battle. Not confetti. That doesn't matter. That's everywhere, so that doesn't matter at all. But the coins, I have not gotten far enough through the game to fully grasp the value of coins. I've heard that there are other uses for them. You can use them in battle, and I do use them in battle for the ring system. And let's talk about that. You can use your coins to buy yourself more time to look at these ring puzzles, and that's good because they can be weirdly complicated. I don't know if it's one of those things I just need to practice more. But some of them are pretty tricky. And on the one hand, it's a little fun. I like a puzzle. On the other hand, it's every attack with every baddie in every encounter every time. And so that is exactly the sort of thing that might wear on me after a while. Just like in Color Splash, the combat is so convoluted and it takes so long to kill defeat a regular little guy. It's the same thing here. If anything, it takes even more brain power. So it's I could easily see that really, really wearing thin and making me not want to battle at all. It's a big hassle to go through every time. But, like I said, I don't know. I haven't reached that point where I'm super annoyed by it yet. I'm still kind of intrigued by it. I'm still having a fun time solving these puzzles. It's just something I'm aware of. But so much of the game, it just comes down to the execution. It comes down to how many battles there are, what you get for the battles, how complicated the ring things get. But at the moment, promising. And if there ends up being a good use for coins, then yeah, despite the ring thing being even more convoluted than Color Splash system, I feel like there is at least a possibility that it will end up feeling more substantial and feeling more worth it. And if throughout the rest of the game there are more scripted battles that you have to engage in, then that's going to improve it as well. And I will say, you can run from some of these battles, but you've got so many bad guys, it kind of comes down to, you do the ring puzzle and you beat them, or if you fail the ring puzzle, they're all going to really rush you and do a ton of damage. So that's kind of surprising. So in the same vein, you try to run from a battle and you fail, they all just rush you. So like you could easily knock yourself out by trying to run and failing too many times. So there's at least some small way the game discourages you from just running from every battle. So that's could be good, could be bad because it makes you do the fights you don't want to do, but kind of good because then it's not as much of an option. Anyway, go into all that in the full review. I have not fully delved into the whole thing of like getting weapons that you can equip and accessories. You know, they're basically like badges from what it sounds like. And I haven't really gotten into that. I've got like the metal shoes, but that's about it. And I must say I am very intrigued by the idea. I'm actually like genuinely excited to move forward and see what other weapons I can equip and what accessories I can equip. Like that's a lot of fun, especially if I can spend like a bunch of coins on them. Then again, there's potential there. That could end up being very good depending on how they do it, on how they execute the ideas. So I've played for a few hours. I've made my way up to what I assume is just before the first boss. It looks like I'm about to get to the end of one of the streamers. Maybe not, maybe I have a little further to go, but I've played, you know, a good while, long enough to get a grips on the whole combat system and everything. And so far, like, what a gorgeous game. I mean, like, we can tell from the trailer and everything. It's absolutely gorgeous. Color Splash was very, very good looking, and this just runs with it even further. The environments are just so vibrant and nice. They're very rich, they're very detailed. These worlds feel more substantial and lived in rather than just, you know, levels for Mario to explore. The connected overworld is already having a dramatic effect on how much I enjoy this game. World maps just don't do it for me, even if it's like, it doesn't amount to, you know, what's the difference? You go up to the side of the screen and it takes you to the world map, and then you go to the next world map node, or it just takes you to the next level. It's not that different, but it is, you know? It feels so much more different. It makes the world feel like a real place. Again, not just a series of levels for Mario to explore. It feels like a world that these characters and these toads and all these people actually live in, and that is it's a feel thing. And it really, really affects me. And I very much appreciate it this time around. And then like Toad Town is really big. Like Port Prisma and Color Splash was very, very basic. It was like a few screens. There's really not a lot to do. There were a couple paint stars, but it was essentially just one node on your world map, so there was only so much you could do. Whereas here, like, this Toad Town is sprawling. There are so many buildings, and I couldn't go into very many of them, but like most of them have doors that you can go in, and it looks like there's a bunch of shops I'm gonna be able to open up. It's pretty, it's fun to explore. It's another thing that just feels really good. Just feels really good that it's there and it exists and it's in this game, and you're like, a real genuine Toad Town that toads actually live in? Oh, it's terrific. And then speaking of toads, finding toads is a ton of fun. I'm a big sucker for the lots of collectibles. I know it's silly. It's this is the same thing. It's the thing Nintendo has been doing in the Switch era. I don't know if this is like some upper level decision thing or if everybody's just copying everybody else, but it's like you got your Korok seeds, you got your moons in Super Mario Odyssey, and now it's just like a ton of toads. I don't know if maybe as I progress through the game, this will slow down, but right now, finding toads is a constant thing. And it's like, they're hiding in all of these different ways. Some of these ways do, you know, double up. You'll see a butterfly multiple times or whatever. But that's fine by me. It's still fun to find them. It's fun to track them down. They all say something when you save them. They all have some little one-liner, and some of them even stick around. So like, you know, some run back to town and some just stand there. So you get a second one-liner out of them. It's, I don't know, it just feels like just so much in the game. It's just a lot to do. It's very silly. It's very just like, oh, look, a thing, I found a thing, boom, haha, you know, it's like the Korok seeds. It's like hide and seek, you know, it's kind of a childlike feeling of finding them. And then speaking of hitting stuff with a hammer, the overall gameplay, it feels really good. Nintendo has always been very, very good about just game feel, how it plays, the feedback that you get when you do certain things. And in this case, going around hitting stuff with your hammer, it's awesome the way stuff crinkles and bends and flatten the flowers, and the noise that it makes and everything just feels super good. And then the confetti, the animation is just delightful. The way he just chucks the confetti. I mean, like, I feel like it probably took a whole team of engineers just to just to get down how the confetti flutters to the ground. It seems like a unique animation each time, like they're all actually like affected by the physics or so. They just kind of go all over the place. It's fun to pick up confetti. It's just all over and you suck it all up super easily. It's just fun. Though I will say, like, there is so much confetti, I'm having a hard time knowing why it's limited. Because, like, you're not gonna run out. Like, maybe twice so far, I've been at a hole and like, oh, I ran out. Oh no, I've been filling so many holes. Let me just walk over to this tree. Boosh, 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 just rains down all over you and you fill up your bag instantly. So yeah, I don't know. Again, it's another one of those things where like maybe it's different later, maybe it becomes more scarce. But at the moment, it's just like, why are you even limited? It's not really a thing. It kind of just becomes a chore to do. Like, I enjoy filling in holes, but there is like that one part of me that's wondering why. It kind of just seems like busy work. You know, like it would be different if the confetti was more limited, but it's not. It's just kind of everywhere. So, you know, essentially it's the same thing as the spots in Color Splash. But this time you just get coins and there aren't nearly as many, and it's fun because sometimes they actually block your path. You know, you can fall into these holes and take damage. So it does feel a little more substantial than just a lot of, you know, blank little spaces that you just color in and cards and coins shoot out everywhere. There aren't as many, so it actually feels like you're building up this area again. And of course, I've got to mention the humor. The humor is awesome so far. Like, it's a Paper Mario game, so the humor is obviously really good, but I think at least so far, it feels even better than Color Splash, because Color Splash was really, really funny, and I loved it. Everything they ever said was a joke, but it almost went too far. It almost, like, was a little bit too over the top in just how, like, jokey all of the Toads could be. This, like, mellows it out a little bit and makes it feel a little more natural and relies more on just genuine jokes than just, like, funny, not references, but just, like, kind of verging on pop culture, internet lingo and stuff, you know? Like, they just went a little too hard on that in Color Splash, and this feels really good. I mean, I've laughed out loud at what these characters have said numerous times over just the first few hours of this game. A lot of it is incredibly clever. I'm actually pretty surprised by, like, the characters so far. You know, it's like usual, not a lot of characters have names. But, like, you find characters in places you don't expect. There's these trees. It's like the beginning of the game, and all of a sudden, there's some trees, and they're talking to me, and there's, like, an old guy tree, and, like, that's really cool. That's not, you know, that's more than a Toad. That's more than just a regular Bowser baddie. That's basically a unique character with some trees. And then I had a whole little side quest where you're trying to save the tree, and, like, I don't know, like, that's just a lot of fun. That gives the game a lot of character. Again, I'll have to play through more of it to see how often that kind of thing happens, but I was quite delighted by running into something like that so early on in the experience. So far, just overall, at least based on these first few hours, it seems to be better than Color Splash in just about every way. Some of the large design issues have the potential, at least, to be, if not fixed, then at least improved upon. The world is more connected and more open and more fleshed out, so it even just that alone is just making it that much more engaging. You don't have cards, so that's just a major improvement. Just right away, I'm like playing and I'm just actively relieved that I'm not collecting cards. That I'm not just getting a ton of cards and spending them and wasting them all over the place. That alone. And I know many people, especially on the Twitter, I get it a lot on the Twitter, lots of people. Anyone who's watching this actually knows that I don't just hate on Color Splash because it wasn't Thousand Year Door. I actually, if you haven't seen my other videos, I thought Color Splash was a really, really good game that was brought down by some serious design issues that had nothing to do with it not being like Thousand Year Door. So it had the potential to be a really great game. So now that this already is looking better than Color Splash in so many ways, I'm feeling more confident. I've been going back and forth on the combat and you know, the lack of experience and all that, and whether or not that's going to be a problem. After playing it, I'm feeling a lot more hopeful, but it's like I said, it's going to come down to the execution. So many of these things, you have to take the experience as a whole. Am I going to get tired of doing a certain thing? Am I going to feel that a certain element lifts things up? I'm not going to know until I move further through the game, but I did want to give you my early impressions, which were pretty darn positive, if I'm completely honest. Pretty darn positive. I'm having fun. I was a little annoyed that I had to come and record this before just playing more. So that's always a good sign when I just want to keep playing a game. I'm not feeling like it's this horrible slog yet or anything, but stay tuned for the full review. It's probably going to take a while. I'm very sorry. It sounds like most Paper Mario games are pretty meaty. They're decently long, and it's hard to find just hours and hours and hours to play a game, and then it's probably going to be a pretty big review because everyone really wants to know what I think about it. So yeah, it might be some time, and I'm sorry, but if it's any consolation, you can just listen to this video 5, 6, 7 times, once a day or something until the review comes out. Does that help at all? Maybe. Well, anyway, you have a wonderful day. Go down to the comments and let me know if you are playing this game right now. If you are, what do you think about it? All that good stuff. Try not to argue. Please. Just don't be one of the people that comes down and tries to tell everyone to not have a good time at the game. We get it. We hear you. It is getting a little, even myself, one of those people that wants the games to return to the way the first two were. Even I'm getting a little, just mellow it out. You know what I mean? Like every time we tweet about it, it's like, just don't go to people and try to argue with them that the old games were objectively better. Even if you feel that way, I feel that way, but let's just mellow it out. Have some nice conversation down in the comments. Whatever side you're on, let's keep it respectful. This is a very hot button topic. Let's just have fun. Talk about Origami King. Let's do it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. I already said have a good day, didn't I? Did I say thank you for watching? Whatever. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.